There's so many stories are breaking as we're even getting on the air here today. But this is the one I wanted to discuss first, and that, of course, is Ahsoka. Season 2 gets a disappointing update as Manny Jacinto shares hopes for the Acolyte's future. This is from Comic Book Movie. Ahsoka star Natasha Liu Bordizzo has shared a disappointing update on when Season 2 begins shooting as the Acolyte's Manny Jacinto reveals his hopes to see the canceled Star Wars series continue. They say while some were quick to rejoice at the news, many Star Wars fans were left reeling by Disney's decision to cancel the Acolyte after a second season. Despite a social media outcry and various online petitions, the odds of the series returning for a second season are incredibly low. For those who enjoyed it, that's a shame because the finale left so many unanswered questions and dangling plot threads that might never be addressed. Well, anyway, he was up on stage and he basically said that they were asking him what he would want back, and he said Season 2 of the Acolyte. Right? And people, I think they made it seem like there's a whole bunch of people screaming. There's some people literally going like this. but either way, good for him that he wants it back. He should. He worked hard on the series. But then the other thing was that they talked about Ahsoka. And now, so Ahsoka, they said, what are the plans for Season 2? The series left on a cliffhanger. According to Liz, she says that they expect to start shooting Season 2 next summer.
Yeah.
This means we won't see this back until our screens until 2026 at the earliest, resulting in a 3-year gap between seasons. Am I crazy, or is this crazy?
Well, I mean, Iger said when he came back that they were going to slow things down. They were going to take their time. I mean, we only had, just a few weeks ago that it was announced there was going to be a Season 2. People are still reeling from the death of Ray Stevenson. So I think there's time, and they want to time it with Mando and Grogu. So I think this fits their time schedule. I'm surprised in terms of, as a Star Wars fan, that we got to wait 3 years, but I'm not really surprised when you think of the timing. They wanted to kind of connect to the Mando and Grogu, which is, of course, what they did with Rise of Skywalker, right? With that Jedi being able to heal people magically, that kind of thing. And so you see that all being a part of it. So I'm not surprised necessarily. And Manny's thing, I'm also not. Hey, look, you want to get people to love you in the Star Wars fandom. You talk about bringing back a series that some of them want to come back, and I think Manny's heart's in the right place for sure. But they ain't bringing that show back though.
That as far as that goes, there's no world where that show's coming back. We knew this. They made the decision. They're going to stand by it. That's fine. I'm gonna disagree with you, man. I think it's it's an issue that they're waiting this long. Because this isn't a movie. This is a TV show. Most TV shows come back within a year because you want to keep people interested. Right. And the story, and there's so much stuff happening within 3 years that it's like people's interest are already starting to lose in Star Wars, right? So in television, I don't disagree that you're like, well, they want to hold back a little bit. But it also just, to me, shows they have no idea what the ultimate plan is. Because here's the thing. This also, I think, to me, you can go to Vegas and bet that the 2026 movie is definitely not Filoni's, the December one. It is definitely can't be, because it's got to all lead into it. So I guess the argument can be made, well, look, this is what they're going to do. They're going to have skeleton crew, see how that does. Yeah. And then Ahsoka Season 2 will eventually lead into, or Mandalorian and Grogu will have some big events and things that happen. That will eventually lead into some of the events of Ahsoka, which will eventually lead into the events of Filoni. It gives you enough time, which I don't disagree with, but it just goes to that same old thing. Stop announcing things.
Yeah.
Because we're announcing a movie, and it's Filoni's movie, and he's going to have this big thing. It's going to be like this big Avengers thing that ends it all. When? We don't know. But when's Ahsoka Season 2? At the time of this announcement, it hasn't even been greenlit. Oh, but is that going to happen? We think so. It is. Okay, it is. When? We're not sure. He just finished. Well, when is that going to happen? In a couple of years. How long? About 3 years after the first season. Will anyone care? We hope so. Oh, okay. What else between that? No clue. Who's directing a movie? We're going to probably sign up 87 directors in between. How many of them are going to direct? None of them. Oh, okay. So what do? We don't know. It's literally that chaotic.
Let's get a writer's room together in February for a Season 2 of The Acolyte. All right. When's that happening? Well, let's wait until Season 1's over. Let's start talking to directors. All right. You guys interested? You available? Yeah, I think it could be interested and available. Hey, guess what? We canceled it.
Oh, okay. Right. That's what I mean. So when you hear this again, you're just like, okay, 3 years from now, and TV is different. It seems like when they have it lined in, and because it's Filoni's show, it'll definitely happen. But here's the other problem: is that if you are now putting this show out in 2026, because he's going to have all this time to put this together, when's he going to start working on the movie?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's a great question. And it feels like we said, they announced it weeks ago. Have they started working on the scripts already? Have they started putting this all together? There seems like there's going to be some kind of upheaval over there, and they're going to take a year off. So maybe this whole year, next year, is like them putting this all together, shooting the show, shooting the movie. Maybe it's around the same time. I don't know. But, like, it's a lot. It's a lot to ask of Filoni. I 100% agree with you. And we're already, a lot of us in the Star Wars side of things, going like, is Dave the answer?
Right.
And so now we're going to be investing in 2 separate projects. And what if both of those come out and they're middling or not good or mixed? Then, the Filoni is done in terms of the goodwill, I feel like, overall with the audience, and may want to move them back to animation. So it's a hell of a chance they're taking. I guess he's earned it. I would say that. But, like, if he doesn't get both of these things right, brother, it's a bad sign for Filoni and for Star Wars overall, dude.
I mean, we've discussed it at length here, or we think that they're in that spot right now that they just, everything they hit has to be incredible in order to get everybody back on board, and it's
and I know Favreau is Mando and Grogu. I know that, but Filoni's going to be involved. So
of course, for sure. But he's involved in it no matter what. In the same way the Russo brothers were involved in anything leading up to Endgame, because they're leading up to this big. If you believe it's the Thrawn, heir to the Empire and all that, if you believe that, so who knows? It's like, it's just 2026 to me. I think 2025 should have been it. I always think that I knew that it was going to be the 2026 area.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I don't know. It's very curious how this is all going to play out. But Yeah.
Well, and this is why I pushed back on Jeff on the hot mic last week. Like, Jeff was like, well, from my Star Wars contact, and Jeff has a very strong Star Wars contact, so I'm not bashing that contact at all. But Jeff was like, oh, they've got a lot of projects in development. They got a lot of stuff they're working on. And I initially pushed back on it because I'm like, okay, cool. They can say all of that, but how much of that do you have faith in at this point? And so I think that's,
well, I think there's 2 different things.
I wonder if his source told him that just to make it seem like, oh yeah, no, hold on, guys, we got stuff coming,
Well, I think those are 2 different things, though. What you're saying, though, because development. I mean, as working in development, there's always things in development. There's always things in development. Like, you have to, in order to have a production. Dude, there are production companies when I was working at Warner Brothers, that like, well, I can just tell you, Joel Silver's company alone, there was always active development of everything, and most things didn't see light of day. And then that was a company, because of Dark Castle at the time, putting out 3 to 4 movies a year, which is just crazy in general. Most production companies will try to get at least 1 movie out a year, one or every year or 2 years, try to get one out.
But I get that. I'm just saying
active development, though, John. But active development, all of those companies had various projects open, even if they got one off the ground. So they can be in development. The question is exactly what you're saying, which I agree with you. How much do you have faith in that any of it's going to get off the ground? That's the thing.
That's why I wonder why the source told him that, because I feel like it's a little bit of them doing some brand saving. Because look, the source has a connection, maybe someone who's very close connected to the people there. So that source maybe, in a way, might have just fed that to Jeff so Jeff could put that in his newsletter. And that people are like, oh, well, they've got other projects coming. Oh, cool. What are they developing? What are they working on? So it kind of keeps the brand a little bit excited, or keep the fans excited about the brand a little bit. But, like I said, fine, you're working on stuff. But how much faith do you have that it's actually going to happen, or it's going to be any good at this point? And why would you put things in development with a team of people who have consistently shown you that they can't knock it out? The batting percentage is not that strong.
Right.
So it just concerns me to even start to do any of that when you don't have a good team behind you.
Yeah.
I can put all the tactics I want on the pitch or on a ball field or whatever, but if the players aren't really vibing, what's the point?
Oh, we're saying the same thing, because it's like we're saying the same thing. To me, it is like, okay, so maybe the source said, look, this is what they're working on. They want to do an Old Republic movie. They have this. They had a meeting with so and so about doing a Mace Windu thing. They had this and this. This is all the stuff, and that's all true, all in development. The question is, like you said, how much of it will actually get put into play, and what will, and how fast before it's canceled?
Right.
So
exactly.
Yeah. But and then to jump back to the Acolyte thing, I hope Manny does a lot of great things. He was the best part of the damn show. So I hope he gets a lot of work, and I hope that they can, in the same way that they work certain Marvel actors who have come back. I hope they can work him back into Star Wars if he really wants to be in just like a different role or something.
I mean, you could make that character
do his own thing,
part of something down the road.
Yeah,
I don't know how, I don't know where, but there is still a possibility with that character, because I think just like Ewan McGregor, look, I know people now revisit the prequels and they love the prequels, but what I grew up with, the prequels, they were not beloved, and Ewan was the one that everybody said he was great in the prequels. No one else really was, right? And so he was able to survive all of that. Of course, that's changed now. People reappreciate Hayden and Padme. That's fine, but like Natalie Portman or other. But like the situation here is Manny came out the star of that thing, kind of like Ryan Gosling out of Barbie, right? People were talking about Ryan more than they were talking about Margot Robbie. So, okay, great. Do something with that character, or have something with that character. Maybe down the road, they could do something with that character and maybe have pop-ins from people from the Acolyte. I don't know, but I don't think you should lose Manny Jacinto. I'm with you. Either do something with that character down the road or give him something new in Star Wars. And if I was Marvel, I'd be looking at that kid immediately, man. Immediately.
Yeah, me too. Look, I think he's great. I think you guys thought he was great, regardless of what you thought the show was. But put your comments in there. Tell us what you think. Do you think that this is something that is a problem or no? Because they're leading up to Filoni's movie and everything else too. They're actually getting things. This is what they should be doing. They should be taking their time. Put your comments in there. Tell us exactly what you think. So many comments lately about everybody that's buying the Tushies. And I see why you're buying them. I love them. You love them. Chris Carr loves them. Everybody loves the Tushies. I'm so excited to get you guys to get a Tushy that I almost thought about doing this from the bathroom, but then I was like, no, I want you to get it. It's terrible. That's a terrible thing for me to do, but I want to do it because I want to show you how much I love the Tushies. Check this out alone. Look at this. Just open up the toilet lid. You spray the water right in your tush. It's wonderful. Look at that. That's how it works. It's that easy. You put it on the toilet. You open it up. You spray the water on your butt. It's lovely. It's going to change the way that you think about cleaning up after a spicy dump in a coffee shop or a porta potty during a music festival. You're going to want to take Tushy with you everywhere, and thankfully you can. Because the Tushy Travel, it's collapsible, it's durable, and discreet portable bidet that gives you the most confident clean on the go. I keep telling people about these things. Everybody are getting the Tushies now, and everyone's like, oh, man, can I use your code? Can I use your code? Of course you can. It's the best. I got one. I've got two in my house right now, and it is so wonderful. We feel classy in this house. It's got a 3-stream nozzle for a total clean. It's got a new air mesh bag for discreet travel, faster dry time. It comes in 5 new colors. Every Hello Tushy bidet comes with a 30-day hassle-free return and 12-month warranty. So stop wiping until you bleed. Join the 2 million butts who have already made the switch to Tushy. For a limited time only, our listeners get 10% off your entire order, but you got to use that code BIGTHING. 10% off Hello Tushy, HELLTUSHY.com with the promo code BIGTHING.